Well, hey there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you've discovered me, yay, I'm so glad you're here. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a subscriber returning, thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Comment down below if you've seen this movie and what you thought. I always love reading your comments. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called To Catch a Killer. This mystery thriller is now available to stream online. It's rated R and is an hour and 59 minutes. The movie review mom grade I'm giving it is, drumroll, a B+. I really enjoyed it, and I think that you will too. Now, I know a lot of film critics don't give their score until the end of the review, so don't click away, keep watching, and let me explain why I gave it the grade that I did. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines and interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that I think are sort of similar that you might also like if you like this one. So it's New Year's Eve in Baltimore. A talented but troubled police officer is recruited by the FBI's chief investigator to help profile and track down a disturbed individual who's terrorizing the city. The dramatic thriller was directed by Damien Sifron, who also wrote the screenplay with Jonathan Wakeham. The movie isn't getting much love by film critics for this film, earning a low 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. However, audiences are awarding the crime drama 81% and enjoying it much more. And I enjoyed it too, I think much more than other film critics. All right, so here's the list of things I really liked about this movie. First of all, that cat and mouse thriller features excellent performances by Shailene Woodley, Ben Mendelsohn, and Javon Adepo. It's good to see Shailene Woodley in something again. She also helped produce the film. There is lovely original music by Carter Burwell. Interesting fact, the movie was originally called Misanthrope, which I actually think is a better, more descriptive title for the movie and the content, because there's a character in the movie who basically hates people and hates society, which is basically what a misanthrope is. And so for that reason, I think it's a better title. Plus, I think it makes people wonder what is that? And then they'll look it up. And the more time you can get people thinking about a movie before it comes out, the better, right? Because then they want to see it. Well, at least that's my 2 cents. Unless the powers that be said, people don't know what that word means, let's call it something else. Anyway, Damon Sifron's direction is very stylish and gritty. All of the camera work was excellent. There are some fun camera angles, and there's this one scene where there is a character who's swimming and the perspective is upside down, which I just thought was really cool. It made me pull into the screen to see what I was actually seeing. And I like that when directors take chances and try to show a different perspective, also showing that what was happening in this character's life was just upside down and crazy, right? There are plenty of shoot 'em up scenes and action sequences, and they're all pretty well done. It's fascinating to watch the detective work to find the elusive criminal and following all of those breadcrumbs and watching that thought process. Now, it's a little unbelievable to think this young female, is so much smarter than all of these experienced guys who've been in the FBI for years, but that's part of the fun of the movie, right? The night scenes are plentiful, yet bright enough to see what's happening, especially if you're going to be streaming this on a small device. And that's something that I always look for when I see these dark scenes, that if you're watching it on a little computer monitor or even a cell phone, you are not even going to be able to see anything. But I thought that these night scenes were well lit. We also get to know quite a few of the characters to better understand them and their motivations and decisions. Because the movie's a little longer, we get that time. The sound effects were completely believable. And I always look for that when people are walking through bushes or walking on various things or guns or doors. And, that can make or break a movie, really. You'll feel some satisfaction and closure at the end of the film. However, if the movie does well at the box office or online streaming, in this case, there is an open window for a sequel. So comment down below. Let me know if you like this movie enough to see a sequel with some of these characters again. I would. I thought it was interesting. All right, now with that praise, there were some things that I didn't quite like or just thought could have been done differently or better. Again, alluding to what I just said earlier, the big plot hole is that the FBI would want to work with a young city police officer to solve this hugely publicized mass murder. And it wasn't just one, it was over and over and over again. So very high profile. And even in the film, some people question, what's she doing here? Like, who is she? She's just a city beat police officer. Why is she working this big case? So, some reasons are given early on in the movie, and you're like, okay, fine, whatever. So just don't let your knickers get in a twist if that really bothers you. And then the high dead body count with brutal deaths was a bit shocking. I'm not sure why. Maybe the tone shifted a little bit for me in that we see a lot, and it's horrifying. It's partly because of the mass dead body count or the high dead body count. There's just so many people die, and we see it. We see a lot of blood, pools of blood, and stuff like that. So just be prepared. And because of that, I do not recommend this for children. Let me give you some tips for parents. There are brutal, bloody deaths, and you don't want your kids seeing that. As I mentioned, a very high dead body count. Profanity, including many F-bombs. Alcohol is consumed, talk of various kinds of addictions. We see bloodied dead animals in a meat packing plant that'll make you want to turn into a vegetarian, and some conversations to that effect. So some of the themes that are illustrated very well in the movie are PTSD and how people react differently to post-traumatic stress disorder, perseverance, American greed, keeping your mind open to possibilities and ideas, power and control, anti-gun sentiment with a wide variety of firearms and other weapons, hatred for mankind and society as a whole, and companionship. All right, so I always write down funny lines and interesting lines just so that I can share them with you and you can get a taste for the script writing and the dialogue. So I have them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. So Ben Mendelsohn does a terrific job, and he's talking to this young police officer who's now being recruited to the FBI. And as he's trying to teach her, he says, opinions never caught anyone. Because, she's got lots of opinions about things. And in the beginning, he doesn't really listen to her that much. He thinks she has something, but he doesn't always agree with her. Now, in another scene, Eleanor, who is played by Shailene Woodley, is talking to Ben Mendelsohn's character, and they're having a private conversation, and she finds out he's married, and he's actually invited her to his house for dinner. So while they're driving, she says to him, or she asks, how long have you been married? For chit chat. And he answers, ever since it was allowed. And so we have a gay character, and we meet his gay husband or partner. And, nothing else is mentioned about that other than we've learned a little bit about this FBI guy, and that he has a family, that he's been in love, and that kind of stuff. Okay, I was just reading through my notes and realized those weren't funny lines, they're interesting lines. So let me give you some more interesting lines. And this was Shailene Woodley's character says this line, but she's quoting Kurt Cobain, and she says, I'd rather be hated for what I am than loved for what I am not. And so she's basically saying, this is who I am. I'm not this big famous FBI agent. I am a police cop. Take it or leave it. But I can offer you some help with this case. All right, so I'm going to give you some recommendations for some other movies that I instantly thought of as I was watching this one. The first one may or may not surprise you. It's called Silence of the Lambs, and it is a really fantastic movie, but I kind of had nightmares for many nights after I watched this movie. But there are some similarities where there is a bad guy, this evil villain, and he is evil and he does horrible things, but he has his reasons. Now, whether you disagree with his reasons or not is part of the story, but it's an incredible film. If you haven't seen it, it is rated R. It's not for children. Something worth checking out because it's a classic. Another one I thought of is The Dark Knight. Again, a villain who has some psychological problems and is trying to inflict his ideology on the world and wreaking havoc doing so. And then the last one, again, is similar, is Joker. And that is an incredible performance that won the lead actor an Academy Award. And this is the newest Joker, by the way, with Joaquin Phoenix. But again, where this villain is cray cray and everybody's got to figure out who he is, who's doing this, and why. And does the why even make any sense at all? Anyway, some great, powerful movies. I hope that if you haven't seen them, that you watch them and enjoy them and add those to your list of classic movies that you've seen. And anyway, I will catch you in the next movie review. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.